Majesties would be attended by those companions of the most noble order of the Pelican here present.
Good order. We sent 2 individuals on vigil today. Did you counsel them?
Aye.
It is still your will to move forward.
Aye.
Let's bring forth the first candidate.
Their Majesties would receive Master Huon Pelican.
Your Majesties, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, noble populace all, I have a story. Once upon a time, long ago, almost 30 years, in a kingdom that used to be here, a boy came home to us, and he learned to cook and bake. He was good. He founded groups, and was seneschal of his new family, and did many good deeds. Still, he cooked and baked, and his skill grew, and it was commended by those who sit on thrones that he made a laurel, and they made it so. He then took unto himself students, who cooked and fed, and themselves went forth and became laurels. And still he cooked, and still he baked, and it was good. Until he came here, and then went to kingdom, and still he cooked, and still he baked. Then for a time he was gone from us, and we were all sad, and our bellies felt empty. But then he returned, and 2 kings, one from Agincourt in the east, vied for this noble citizen, and Agincourt was victorious. When our kingdom saw our neighbor Anstiara was in need and put the call forth to its artisans, he answered this call and brought forth cookies. Such cookies that the Anstiarans still speak of them till this day, and they may even have prevented wars. I speak of no other than Master Huon Pelican, who comes here today to answer the hard-put question His Majesty placed upon him, although it might not be too hard to answer.
You're looking good, man. Did you sit vigil today? You've contemplated what you're about to undertake. Is it your wish to still go forward?
And to seek to also do the wish of your majesties, and the wish of the order of the
Very well. Proceed then. Is there a tool of Agincourt to speak for this good man?
Your Majesties, Your Highnesses, good gentles of Agincourt, I am Viscountess Mistress Judith of Kirtland, and I'm proud to say that there and I started the Jewel of Agincourt a long time ago. And it was started for people like Hewitt. He was my apprentice, but had he not been my apprentice, I still would have noticed his ability to reach out to others, to teach everyone that would hold still and after that to put them to work in the kitchen. This is a good thing. But few people realize that when he lived in another kingdom, not our own, that he would drive from that kingdom to Ethelmar. Such was his love for Ethelmar. And I am so happy that I'm going to have to sit down. He is truly elegant. He is the best face of the world.
Is there a member of the chivalry who would speak?
Yes, I am there. I've known Master Huon for longer than I care to remember. I've watched him face problems in his life, and he's met them always with unsavory, unfailing courage. I happily acknowledge this man as my peer.
Are there royal peers who would speak?
Yes, Your Majesty. I'm Luke Henri d'Artois, Countess Elena, but I would speak for Master Huon. I met Master Huon at one of my first events at Ian's Inn, and at that time, I was brand new, didn't know what I was getting into. He was one of the first people I had the chance to sit down and to explain the SCA, along with a couple of other people from Misty Highlands area. And leaving that conversation, I was like, this guy is great. I want to come back. And I don't know anybody who's ever met Master Huon that didn't feel that way. The other thing about, they talk about peer-like qualities, and speaking as a royal peer, you don't get much more royal than Master Huon is. And he represents our kingdom so well. I can tell you of 2 times that I sat at the throne where Master Huon went on crusade with me, out of his way, worked hours upon hours in his kitchens, and made sure that this kingdom not only looked great down there and was represented well, but also made sure that our allies and the people that we fought against were taken care of. And this is the cookies that the Herald had spoken of. He did not technically avert war, but he did go to calm some people who were upset that we didn't side with them. Master Huon is not only a great friend of mine, he's a great friend of all of yours. And I recommend that if you do not know this man, that you know him. He is royal, and I stand here as a testament to that. And he stands in front of you as a testament to of the love this kingdom has for him.
If I can add, one of the roles of the royalty is to be able to connect our society kingdom to kingdom. And I don't know of any man who has done that to so many people. And they've never known it. To know that there was 500 cookies that went out to the citizens of Agincourt. To know that he goes to Alabama to cook feasts for people. He goes everywhere, and he cooks everywhere. And people may never know his face, but they know his art, and they know his art very well.
Are there laurels who would speak?
Yes, there are. 2 of us. Your Majesties, it actually seems a little redundant to have a laurel speak on behalf of this man since he's a member of that order himself. But I would like to simply point out to people that, as has been mentioned before, many of us have the good food that Master Huon cooks. And I think that we can perhaps determine the magnitude of his contributions to the art of cooking if I simply ask that everyone in the room who has ever eaten one of Master Huon's cookies or his feast would simply together with me say, yum. Yum! I rest my case.
I'm Mistress Amaryllis Coleman, Order of the Laurel and Order of the Pelican, and I'm going to give you real numbers this time. My first event was Penzig 8. Huon brought clippings and posters from his early days. 6 months before then, he cooked his first feast. And that level of service with his art, as they've described, bringing his food and also his music to innumerable kingdoms, to innumerable demos, and Harold mentioned almost 30 years. You do the math, it's 33. So this tremendous body of work is, to me, overwhelming. And Huon, I would like to be your peer. Thank you.
It's kind of impressive. At Pennsylvania, I was 8. Is there a pelican who would speak?
Majesty, I am Count Johann de la Marche, Master of the Laurel, Knight, Master of the Pelican, etc. In the year 1979, I had the honor to serve the Kingdom of the East as the Deputy Seneschal for the Northern region, which constituted what is now the Kingdoms of the East and Ethelbert, the Southern region being what is now the Kingdom of Atlantia, which was then under the jurisdiction of Baron William de Montague, the Deputy of the South. And at that time, I had the honor to receive reports from the General as Master M, who was Seneschal of the Shire of Morgana. So I can, if necessary, document that he has been in service to the society and the progenitors of this kingdom since that day. I may say that when I came to the Shire of Misty Highlands, I was able to meet him and work with him. That was, I think, 22 years ago. And I was very happy to welcome him as one of the very few peers we had in that region at that time. There were, I think, 3 in the entire state of West Virginia. And he was always a great example to the peerage. And his service since then has already been fluently described, so I do not think I need to go further. The gentleman is most assuredly my peer, my brother peer, and I'm delighted to see this time.
Is the ancestral medallion here?
It is, Your Majesty.
Is there a cloak?
There is, Your Majesty. Master Huon, what you see is the work of the ladies of our household on the north.
Is there a cap of maintenance?
Yes, Your Majesty.
And is there a ring?
Indeed, Your Majesties, there is, and I'm very honored to be able to present this to my friend Huon, who has appeared to me this afternoon. We have known each other for over half of our lives.
time, we would have your oath of gift.
Majesties, I have said this to you as a rule. I say it again. Now, as a pelican, as long as you sit on the throne, I like my service. Until the world ends, until the SCA, you know. I am your first.
Thank you, Master Huon. We always know your words to be true. We know your service, we know your art. We're thankful for these things, and we look forward to having you with us.
Whilom there was dwelling in Ethelmar a worthy peer who practised his art, and posted all he learned from books to say, for Huon Damebridge Laurel chef was he, who shone on all his culinary life to sate the populace's appetite, with recipe obtained from source obscure, redacted for 100 books or more. Good cookies did he bring and give to all, to brighten and enrich a noble's wall. For art and service true to all detail, and teaching far beyond the laurel's pale. King Eisenwulf, who wears the silver throne, and Rosalinda, queen of great renown, at Agincourt Pelican him named, in AS 46, with great acclaim. The scroll is being illuminated by Adriana van der Brua, and Kamishima Zentaro Umakai created the wording and will be doing the calligraphy.
Please join the order. We will have more business with them at this time.
For Master Huon Damebridge, newest companion of the most noble order of the Pelican.
Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!